Sorry. Let's go. No, I'm kidding.
Hi, this is Ones to Watch Chef's Choice. I'm Abby Kenna, and today I'm joined by Allie Evenson.
Hi.
How are you doing? The character change.
I know. Hi. No, I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Here we are. I just saw your show a few days ago.
Thank you.
It was really awesome.
You could be like, it was terrible.
Yeah, here are my notes, actually. Here are my critiques. No, it was really good. I was just saying how everyone I've ever known in my life was there.
It was a big community show.
It was. No, it was great. I love that venue. I always try to describe Make Out Music to people. I'm like,
It's
like not an underground cement room, but like almost.
Yeah. It's a warehouse vibe.
Yeah.
But it feels, I don't know, it feels homey in there.
Yeah.
I like it.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So
Thank
I'm
you.
excited that you're here. This is Chef's Choice.
Yay.
We're going to go through our little 3-course meal of your music.
Love.
Yay. And to start, I would love to know, if listeners have never heard your music before, where would you tell them to start?
See, I was having trouble picking this one.
Okay.
I was. But I think Shitty Heaven would be where to start.
Hey, maybe some things never change. They call it pleasure, call it pain.
Not because that's what my music generally sounds like, but I feel like it is interesting to start with that one because it's so like in your face right off the get-go. That's just like a song that pulls people in, I think. So once you're in, you're like, oh, cool. It's all a little bit different than that.
Yeah. It does lay the groundwork.
It does, yeah. I think it kind of has a lot in it. Like it's got the vocoder, it's got weird bridge section experimental stuff, and then it's got like a big heavy outro, which I feel like kind of encapsulates all of my music. So yeah, definitely start with Shitty Heaven. Definitely watch the video too, because that's a slapper.
That starts the album, yeah.
Yeah,
And you open your shows with it.
I do.
I feel like it's an overture. Overture? Why am I struggling with that word?
Overture.
Okay.
Overture.
Why does that sound wrong? Okay.
Yep.
It's like that. Like if your album were a musical, like that would be the overture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think that's like the orchestra tuning up kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like vocoder, like a little grit and grime of it.
Definitely.
Well, I feel like that begs so many questions about just like the production and just your musical process in general. So like, what does that look like, especially with Blue Super Love, which is so production heavy?
Yeah. I'm currently almost like done with my second album.
Whoa.
And that process has been so different than, well, not so different, but different to me than Blue Super Love. Blue Super Love was like half written in Detroit when I was still living there. And some of those songs were like written by me in my room, and some of them were written in sessions when I would come out to LA. So I think it was like half and half, kind of my old process and my new process, which was really interesting to mesh together. And also Blue Super Love was like the first time I had ever co-written with people. So I feel like I was still getting my footing with all of that stuff. And also like it was very much like I would kind of pass the song off to my producer Nigel, and be like, I'm so new to all of this, please just like, I trust you, do what you want like with it. And I was like there, and I was in the room with him, and I would give feedback and like give my 2 cents, but mostly I kind of just like let him take that. But the new album is very much he and I just like co-producing together, like just sitting and like messing around and making stuff that we just think is cool, which Blue Super Love was my first album ever. So I think I was like, it was a perfect album for me as a first album. Like it kind of just like did what it needed to do for my own brain. It's an intense album. Like, I think it's not like unserious. It's a pretty like dramatic, emotional album, which was really good for me at that time because I was going through a big dramatic, emotional time in my life. So yeah, it was just like a very kind of seeing what happens kind of thing. Because I had never done this before. We had a folder of a bunch of songs, and which is how we're doing it now too. But I think like the difference between Blue Super Love and how I work now is like the folder of songs with Blue Super Love, we picked the only ones that were good. The other ones were like really bad. With this new album, every song was good. So we're like, oh no, we have to narrow it down. But I feel like with Blue Super Love, it was kind of obvious which songs were going to be picked.
Sure.
And they all just happened to fit the same theme, which I think was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, when you say you've never done this before, are you meaning like producing your music out or like the artist thing, or what was new to the whole process?
Making an album.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
I didn't think I could do it.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way. I can't write that many songs. Because I'd only done like singles or EPs at that time. And it was my first experience with a label and like doing all of that. So I was just really overwhelmed. And I think I was just kind of like passing off things to my producer and my label and being like, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. And now I feel like I have a really good idea of what I'm doing and I have like more creative control over it, which is so sick.
I mean, that's so real. I feel like from an outsider's perspective, you kind of just assume that like someone's holding your hand through this whole like album process.
Yeah.
But like the thing is writing songs.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that you kind of had to like watch and learn the album, coming together.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that you're now like settling into a place where you can like have a seat at the producer table and like do all of that.
Yeah.
Are
definitely.
you producing it all too?
Well, like I don't sit at the computer and produce, but I definitely like co-produce with Nigel. Like I'm there for every session and he and I are like, I'll go up and I'll like do some stuff. We have this thing called a chaos pad.
Okay.
Do you know about them?
I don't.
It's really cool. It's like this box with like this little screen and there's a bunch of squares on it and they move and you basically drag your finger around and like you can set it to different effects and you can either run your vocals through it, you can run any track through it and it just like glitches it out and messes it up. And it's Radiohead uses it all the time, which is why I use it all the time because I would want to be Radiohead really bad. But I do a lot of chaos pad stuff on the songs. I've been playing a lot of the instruments on all the songs. And I think like he and I just kind of sit there and compose and arrange and then produce it out, which is really cool.
Totally.
Which I did in some capacity on Blue Super Love. Like I was definitely in there for every session. But now I think as I become more aware of songwriting and like song structure and music in general, I'm able to be like, oh, I know the correct wording for what I want this to sound like and I'm able to, contextualize it better. I don't know.
No, yeah. Like once you would have had to say like, I want it crunchier, and now you can say like, can you put some distortion on it?
Yeah, of course.
That makes sense. When did you move to LA? Because you were in Detroit for a while.
I moved to LA in August of last year. So it's been almost a year.
Okay.
Since I've moved here.
So most of the album making process was from Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wow.
I would come out here a couple times. Like, I think I came out here 4 or 5 times in 2024 before I moved.
Okay.
Just for like a week. And I would work with my producer. But most of it, was in Detroit. All of the videos were shot in Detroit.
Okay, cool. I'm totally working backwards now, but like, how did all of this begin? Like, how did you meet Nigel? How did you decide to make an album?
I signed to my label and they were like, you have to make an album. And I was like, for sure, I do.
Well, yes.
And I met Nigel. Nigel's from Detroit, but he's lived in LA for like 8 years. And I knew of him just through Detroit music people, and he works a lot with my label. And I had a session with him back in like November of 2023, And actually, not to get like dark and sad, but like a month before that, I was so dead set on giving up. Like I was like, I'm done. I'm done with music. I'm done with life. Like I am so over it. I was so depressed. I was so like sad. And then I met Nigel and I was like, oh wait, I just needed to work with a person who gets it. So we had a session. We wrote a song on the album in that session. And I was like, actually, never mind. I just need to work with him because he knows exactly what's going on up here.
Yeah.
And he was able to just like bring it out of me. And that's how we met.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is so true that it's like that one more push.
I know.
Yeah.
I needed someone to look at me and be like, that's really stupid of you to say. And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Right. Fuck.
Yeah.
It all works out in the end.
I know. It does.
Well, for our main course, I would love to hear about a song that represents Blue Super Love, the album.
I think One Trick Pony.
When you say that they what do you mean? I take it all wrong, so what? Hold on, I'm still young. Hold on, I'm homesick. One trick pony, what you got left?
I think that is the, like, just in general, that song represents me as an artist perfectly. Like,
Okay.
I really think it does. I think it has everything, like, it's definitely the most Radiohead song on the album. But I think, like, it's weird, it's kind of sexy, it's kind of, like, groovy, it's upbeat, but it's also distorted. And I think it just, like, has, when I finished that song, I was like, this is such a perfect song to me. Like, just for me. Other people probably hate it. But, like, for me, it has everything that scratches my brain in it, which is so cool. And I think, like, it's kind of is that word representative?
Representative?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of where my music is going now a little bit.
Oh, cool.
It's definitely more in, I don't know. It's that I think is one of the songs that sounds most like you could take that song and put it on the second album too, and it would probably blend in.
That's exciting.
But yeah,
That is the first song I heard of yours, so
hell yeah,
that checks out.
I love that song.
I always hate asking people, like, what's the story of it? Because I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't have to dish.
No, I can
But
dish.
what inspired you to write that?
That song is about sex. Can I say that
Yes.
on here? Okay. It's about me kind of being more comfortable in intimacy and like my sexual like experience. I think like I'm in my late 20s now, which feels old as a woman in the music industry sometimes.
Sure.
So I think like the line like hold on, I'm still young kind of thing. It's like I'm still hot and sexy, guys, don't worry. Like but I think like I was in a relationship where that part of it was like completely dead. And I was like, I cannot believe I wrote that song after like being celibate for like months and months and months.
Word.
Yeah.
Something got funneled into that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of pent up like sexual frustration. I think that triggered that song. And also definitely just like that song is super inspired by the national anthem by Radiohead,
Yeah.
which is I think one of my favorite Radiohead songs. But I really wanted like I had never written a song that was so raw about like I'd never written a song that was about sex or like anything like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am 27 years old. Why am I not writing about things that are like so present in my life?
Yeah.
And it felt really good to just let it all out.
Yeah, there is this like weird thing where it's like we have to write about like love or breaking up or wanting love or breaking up. But
Yeah.
there's so much more to life.
Yeah.
And
And also you can like write about sex and have it not be super obvious.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I love that. Going back to Radiohead, because you've mentioned like your visuals and your music videos are insane.
Thank you.
Obviously the visuals for this album are super cohesive. And I feel like Radiohead has like my favorite music videos
I know.
ever. What were your inspirations for the visuals, and like what are some of your favorite videos you've done?
I love horror movies. I love movies and I love acting. I grew up doing theater. And I think I'm always inspired by the movies I watch. And weirdly enough, like, I don't know if there were any Radiohead videos that inspired any of the videos. I think they were more so just inspired by movies I've seen. And like,
Okay.
like I had, right before I did all the visuals for this album, I had Longlegs came out, that movie, and I was obsessed with Longlegs. Like,
Okay.
I made it my whole personality for like a month just for a bit. Like, I was so obsessed with Longlegs. I loved it. Oh my
Theater
god.
6 times.
Dude, yeah, I went like 4 times. I was so obsessed. And I love horror movies that are kind of like funny. Like Nick Cage in that movie is so silly, but horrifying. Like so
Right.
scary. And I was like, this character that I've created for this album kind of just feels like an unwell, like, freak.
Right.
Like, kind of Longlegs-ish. So I think, like, One Trick Pony was a little bit... the video for One Trick Pony was a little bit inspired by Longlegs, just in the way of, like, there's this weird girl that's just, like, crafting this weapon to hit a piñata with at the end.
Right.
And Shitty Heaven was... that was actually the music video director's idea. Like, we hadn't planned on doing a video for that at all. And he was like, because we sent him the whole album, and he was like, I listened to this one, and I was really inspired, and I think it would be a really cool video. And it was the first take, and the only take we did of it.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, that felt good. And he was like, yeah, that was sick. What else did he do? He did Scary Calm, which was on the deluxe too, which that was inspired by the movie Perfect Blue.
Okay.
That song is so clearly about a breakup, and I was like, I don't want the video to represent that at all.
Right.
And I really loved the idea of like the blue hat girl like idolizing a pop star and kind of like having this TV in this really liminal space and like imitating her dance moves and like freaking out over it. So yeah, and then we've got a really cool video coming out soon for a new song.
Okay. I love the like you could either watch this video and be like horrified or think
Yeah.
it's so like absurdist that it's funny.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, are you freaky enough to get it?
Yeah. Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, well let's talk about this new song.
Ah.
This is our dessert, our cherry on top. We're talking about the line. Okay. I've heard it and I love it.
Thank you.
So tell me about it.
It was written as a joke,
Okay.
which is so funny. I have to say that because I think it just makes it so much better to know
Sure.
that. But my producer and I were working on another song, which actually is going to be on the second album. And we were so stuck on it. Oh my God. We were like crashing out over it. And we were like, we need to take a break. We need to take a break. We need to just like walk around. And then we came back and he was like, let's just start something. He was like, it doesn't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I've had this guitar line, this like little riff. And then we just started writing. And like, it was just one of those things where we're like, wait, we should do this. This is so funny. We should do this. And I was like, let's just write like a parody of a country song. Like, let's write a weird, obscene, like going to piss country fans off song where it's got like drum and bass and just like almost hyperpop elements. And the song is another song about death, which is so fun. But we're like just those intrusive thoughts where it's like, what if I don't wake up tomorrow? Like there's that one horrible prayer that scared me so much when I was a kid where it's like, and if I die before I wake.
Dude.
Oh, my aunt would say that to me all the time. I was like, stop it. I'm like so scared of it.
Yeah. No, they really got us good.
They got us good with that one. But the whole song is just about towing a line between life and death and like being lighthearted about it and funny. So the song was written as a joke, which I think is really funny. And we were like, we should just write this song and then like pitch it to country artists as a joke. And then we were like, actually, no, it's awesome. We need to do this song.
Yeah.
And I think it's also kind of a perfect bridge between truthfully, the line sounds kind of nothing like the second album, like in some ways, but it's not like, we're not going like, that's not the vibe of the second album.
Okay.
But I think it's a really good bridge between the two albums.
Sure.
And also the video for it is me in my new era fighting over, well, kind of in my new era, but it's kind of like a prequel to the Blue Hat.
Love.
And it's the Blue Hat girl finding a victim and like taking her and turning her into another Blue Hat girl.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of gross. It's like
Good.
I'm like throwing up stuff and pulling strings out of my mouth.
I love this.
It's really fun.
I love that Blue Hat girl just like has such a story to her.
She's crazy. She's crazy.
Wow. I think it's so fun that you've made a country song in this era of like every pop star is going to have a country song.
It's true.
But it doesn't necessarily sound country to me.
No, it's like, it really doesn't. It's just that there's banjo in it.
Yeah.
It's like so funny. And I think like part of me, I was nervous too, because I was like, every pop star is going country right now. And that's like why Nigel and I wrote it. Because we
As
were
a
like,
joke,
yeah, as a joke. And then they were like, we should release this. And we're like, and I was like, oh no, are people going to think that I'm, but also it's like such a parody of that thing,
Yeah.
which I think is so funny. And I also just like have to put drum and bass over everything because it's so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just got to shake ass.
Always.
You always have to shake ass. So
It's interesting to me that like you still hear it as this like parody and like joke song. But to me, I listened to it and I was like, here's this like hyper pop song about death
Yeah.
and like anxiety. So it can mean that to you, but
it feels like there's a couple songs that I've written that I'm like, this feels like a 2-minute 45-second panic attack,
right.
which I love.
Yeah.
Just take it or leave it. Yeah. You can love it or you can hate it, but that's kind of what it feels like.
No, I love it. I love that like you kind of get to like kill the Blue Hat girl too, like as you continue. She's here, she's just not on.
I was told to bring it.
Just in case.
Wait, can I? What? Just in case. Oh, just in case.
Oh, over the headphones is crazy.
Your head looks huge.
So we're killing the hat.
The hat is, did you make it?
No. Oh,
Okay.
no. Actually, I would never destroy this hat because it was made by this girl. She's New York based, and she like knits a bunch of beautiful things, and she made the hat. And I tag her in a lot of the hat
Cute.
stuff because I'm like, thank you so much. It's so beautiful. It really is. And it's so fragile. And it's like low-key a little bit falling apart. But
I love that.
only makes sense because I wear the shit out of it. Take a picture of the hat on the ground.
It's like blankie. Like you can't go anywhere
It
without
is.
blankie.
It's like my comfort thing. Oh my God, wait. Funny story. I
Please.
have to say this.
Good.
So yesterday I just got back from Detroit. We were filming
Yeah.
the Line video. And I flew out on Friday morning. And I get to the airport. I'm about to board. Forgot the hat.
Oh,
I'm like,
bro.
and it wasn't like my roommates could like overnight it because it was locked in my car and I had my keys. So I had to switch my flight, Uber back home, get the hat out of my car, and then go back to the airport like 3 hours later
Oh my
and fly
God.
home. It was that
It is
serious.
serious.
I was like, oh no.
Wow.
And we couldn't have rewritten the video. I needed to have it.
No, like the only other option is like she overnight knits a hat and
And
like
she
sends
could
it-
not have, like, there's no way. That hat took weeks.
Oh my God.
So I'm like,
wow.
no. It was so scary.
That is like heart in your stomach moment.
This hat made me cry. In the airport, in LAX. I crashed out in LAX over this
You have to.
hat.
To have a crash out in an airport is like once a year at least.
Yeah, it's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
I think.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, well I have 3 final questions for you. Oh.
Can I use this?
Yeah, please. Neither of them are yuck or yum answerable,
Okay.
but if you would like. If your music were a candle, what would it smell like?
Oh. I feel like it would smell like whoa, this is really scary. I don't know.
I like the direction it's going in based on the gears turning.
There's like, okay, I follow a lot of fragrance TikTok
Okay.
accounts. There's this girl, Cami Reviews.
Okay.
I also think she's so beautiful. She's listening to this. Hey. But no, she like there's her page, and then there's this other page that's like, if you want to smell like this French avant-garde horror movie, these are the perfumes for you. And I was talking to Brenna about this. There's this scent. So if they made a candle version of this scent, I have not smelled this scent yet, so it could smell completely vile. But it's called Secretions Magnifique. Do you know it?
I don't.
It's supposed to smell like blood, sweat, spit, and semen.
Oh, all of those things.
All
at
of those
once.
things. But I feel like maybe like Blue Super Love would smell like that.
Yeah.
You Poor Thing would smell like that.
Not one hint of like flour in there, just blood, sweat.
No, there is. I think there's like floral notes, but there's also like metal notes and like
Yeah.
gunpowder notes.
That's good.
So I feel like anything like that, anything that's like kind of floral but also sinister
Yeah.
and vile,
Yes.
that's what it would smell like.
Evil in a good way.
Yeah.
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 I love that.
Mhm.
Okay. I'd also love to know what your favorite sound is right now, but like a life sound,
Oh,
not like a music sound.
my favorite life sound. Okay. I watch a lot of chiropractic videos on TikTok. It's like my ASMR. So like bones cracking.
My back cracks louder than anyone's I've ever known.
What?
I'll do it later.
Oh!
Yeah. That's right, guys.
See, okay, I need to be cracked so bad, and it's like this thing that almost makes me like salivate when I watch it.
Oh my
Like I'm like,
God.
I need it. I'm being crazy right now. I need
Feral
it
for
so
that.
bad, but I think just like hearing chiropractors adjust someone is my favorite sound.
Nice.
One of them.
Okay, love that.
Yeah. Yep.
My last question is who your ones to watch are. So who are you listening to that we should be listening to?
We talked about this. Eli.
Oh,
Yeah.
Queen.
She's so great. Fortunately for You made me cry like 20 times the other night. I just listened to it and I just thought about my best friend and I cried.
Oh.
Discover Weekly made a new picture.
Oh, it's not that fuck ass. Okay.
What the
Wow.
hell?
They
I
said
actually
we're not using your profile picture
I hate
anymore.
that, to be honest. Okay. Also, I just started listening to This Is Lorelei.
Oh, yeah.
That band, awesome.
Really good.
So cool.
okay.
Who else? Oh my God. Emery.
Queen. Yeah, that's all-star cast right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yay. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I had so much fun. I love talking.
Yes. It's a win for us. Well, once again, this is Ones to Watch Chef's Choice. I'm Abby Kenna, and this is Allie Evenson. Listen to Blue Super Love.
Thank you.
Yay.
Bye.